Okay, so if all have understood what UI UX is all about from the beginning of the class up to this stage, so today we are going to talk about design feedback. What is design feedback and how, what are the importance, the benefits, like why is it necessary in our design? Design feedback is a process of reviewing and providing input on a design to identify area of improvement, affirm successful elements, and ensure that the design meets its objectives. As a virtual component of the design process, feedback refines and enhances the final product quality by offering insight and perspective necessary for creating high quality, user-centered, and innovative design. Now, the reason for feedback is to help you improve, is to help you um, ensure that the design you are designing actually meets its objectives and goals. It's not all about creating fine designs, yeah, making the button to look so fine, the spacing, everything, making it to look so beautiful. But does this design actually meet the objectives and goals? Does this design actually have, or does it actually improve, or is it successful? It's not all about how it looks. Yeah, although it's how it looks, because your spacing should be equal, alignment should be neat, the choice of fonts, the choice of color. Now I'm just talking about the UI first. Does it actually meet the objective? That's why most times when um I give tasks, and when I'm reviewing your design, you will just be receiving mail when I am on your Figma file. I'll ask you, okay, this space you add there, what's going to happen to this place? Why is this place like this? Why is this button small? Why is this particular button bigger than this one? Why are you using this font? All those comments I dropped on your Figma is because I want to get, I'm dropping feedback. Sometimes you see me, I'll come to your Figma, I'll tell you, okay, instead of placing it like this, why not make it this way? Why not use this shape of button instead of this rectangular shape of button? Why not use a curvy, your corner radius? Why not make it curvy? Maybe use 10 instead of using 3. So sometimes you see some comment like that, and I will tell you, okay, this is better than this. And all those feedback I'm dropping is because I want your design. Like I'm trying to improve your design. I'm trying to make your design to look good, try to meet its objectives and goals. Feedback can come from various sources. Like feedback can come, it's not only your tutor that is going to give you feedback. Feedback can come from your fellow classmates. Let's say we will soon start our project by next month, and once we start our project, this is where I'll say, okay, oh yeah, everybody drop this Figma link on the group so that all of us will actually look at your work, not because we want to copy, but all of us should look at your work. Okay, everybody drop your feedback. What do you think is better for this? Or somebody can design 2 landing page and say, okay, I came up with 2 designs, and I want you guys to help me review this design. Is this particular design better than this? And you see everybody start dropping feedback for you. Somebody will say, okay, let's say for example, Marvelous drop a design on the group, and Dexter John will be like, oh, Marvelous, I think this space here is too much. Why not reduce this space? Yeah, I think this your corner radius is too much. Maybe she's using corner radius of 20, and she say 20 is too much. Why not use 10? I think 10 is better. And Maureen will say, oh, this your button is actually long, the height is actually longer than what our tutor actually told us to use. Why not reduce it to, okay, 60 if you choose to use a big or longer height of button? Because everybody can drop their feedback, because feedback doesn't come only from your tutor. Feedback doesn't come only from your user. Feedback can come from your tutor, can come from your fellow classmates, can come from your user when you're doing your usability testing. Feedback can come from experts. Let's say you are let's yes, you're a beginner, a junior designer, an intern, and you want experts or your design team lead to check your design for you before you can post it out there on your social media handles. And then this is where you have to send them the link and say, okay, I did this design and I want you to help me review. What do you think? And then they'll just drop a criticism for you, maybe positive or negative criticism. They'll drop feedback for you. They'll drop comments. Maybe they will highlight one or two, or they will get on a short call with you and start walking you through your design. Okay, I think do it like this, not like this, do it like this and like this. So that's where feedback doesn't come from just your tutor or just your user. Feedback can come from any other person around you, as long as that person is actually in the same field with you. Even though the person is not in the same field with you, you can like as a designer, once you're done with your design, you can tell a developer to help you review this work. What do you think? Is it actually something that they can implement? Is it something that is going to be easy? Is it something that is going to be very difficult? They will drop feedback for you. Feedback can come from anywhere at all, as long as it's both feedback is feedback, whether it's negative or positive feedback. So feedback can come from any other person. By fostering a culture of open communication and continuous improvement, design feedback will help you achieve your best work and ensure that the final product meets its needs and expectation of all shareholders. Now, this is what I normally do. When a client gives me a job to do, I always although yeah, sometimes you sign NDA and they'll tell you not to share this with anybody, just the client, you're not supposed to post it on your social media due to you've already signed NDA, non-disclosure agreement. That is what NDA means. And this is what I normally do. So what I normally do is I get to review this work with trusted person I know. Or sometimes the client, if I don't want to share with this trusted person, I will once I'm done maybe the first stage or the first section of this design, I'll call the client. Okay, let's get on a call. These are things I did, and I want you to review. I want you to criticize this work I did for you, and then the client will tell you, okay, I'm not comfortable with this kind of design. Can you make something like this for me? And once the client is telling you make something like this for me, I'll get to tell the client, okay, I think you have to show me inspiration of what you want. So that's how it is. Well, definitely you will not tell the client, you have to take it like this. No. What you have to do is, yes, client is their work. They are paying you to do the job for them. So you have to do what they want. Else it's going to cause problem or maybe disagreement disagreement between both of you. So what you're just going to do is, okay, explain to them the reason why you actually did the design like this and you think is actually the best solution for the user. But once you're done, then I'll give them the room for them to tell you, okay, I can't go with this your idea. I can't go with your pattern of design. This is what I want. Okay. And by the time they tell you this is what they want, you can tell them, okay, can you provide inspiration or a mood board or something similar to this thing you're looking for? So that I get to look at it, because nobody wants to copy another person's design and give to a client. You won't want to do that. It's only beginner that is trying to learn something that you're going to replicate exactly what you are saying. But when you're doing a job for a client, this is where you don't have to replicate. So that's how it's been. So now if it's a personal project that you are working on, maybe you want to design an already existing application or a website out there, this is where you have to say, okay, I'm actually replicating something like Jumia and I want to get a feedback from you. I am replicating the exact thing for Jumia, what Jumia does, and just replicating that just for a personal project that I want to do. I want to showcase it out there that yes, I can do something similar to, I can do something that Jumia does, and then you replicate the exact landing page that Jumia did, and then you share with maybe experts, your fellow classmates, you share with your tutor, you share with your mentor, you share with maybe your team lead or wherever you want to share with the developer, anybody you want to share with, and then the person will tell you, okay, I think Jumia own is like this, your own is different like this. Since you are replicating the exact thing from Jumia, I feel you should make your own to be the same way. And this is where you guys will now start having communication. And then by the time you look at it, you see that, oh, yes, I'm actually improving. Or okay, I need to go back to work on this. By the time you start getting like you feel motivated. You start seeing area of improvement. You start getting what you want. You start getting, yes, okay, yes, I'm doing the right thing. I am on the right track. Even if you are doing something, even if you make a lot of mistakes, even if your error is over 100, it doesn't matter. As long as you can go back to adjust, as long as you're getting the feedback from these people, it will help you a lot. That's one thing about feedback. That is one benefit, one thing I love about getting feedback for your design. Now, what are the key aspects of design feedback? Now, we have constructive criticism. There are some feedback that you will get when, imagine someone that did something wrong, and um, sometimes I get to see you guys design, and I just wish that there is voice notes I can just drop on Figma comments. Sometimes I wish that there's a voice note where I'll get to explain the thing, break them down for you. Because most people, by the time I drop comments for them, they don't understand. I get their reply is, I don't understand. Please, can you break it down? And I get to go to Telegram to drop the voice note for them. You get, and still they still don't understand. Most people understand feedback when you get to jump on a call with them, share your screen with them, and start walking them through like a child. So that's how some people understand their feedback. Some persons understand their feedback when you just drop one or two sentences and then immediately they will grab. Some persons is when you call them on the phone and you start telling them. Some person is when you sit close to them and start pointing the screens like that. So most people have the way they normally take in feedback. Okay. Now, one key aspect of design feedback is constructive criticism, where you have to say, okay, now let me read the sentence and say, effective feedback can be precise and clear about what aspect of the design needs to improve. Unclear comment like make it better are less useful than specific suggestions such as consider increasing the font size for readability. Now let's say for example, I think I dropped something like this for, I don't know which person's design, I dropped something like this where the person actually used font size of 8 for a mobile for your body text. And when I preview from my end, I noticed that the font size of 8 was too small. It was looking too tiny from the mobile view. So I think I dropped a comment and said, instead of making it font size of 8, why not make it font size of 12 and see how it is? If it's too small, then you can increase to 14. I think I can't remember where I dropped that comment. Now you can tell that kind of comment. By the time the person sees this comment on Figma, the person will say, oh, okay, this is clear enough. Than dropping a comment, dropping a comment and font 8 is too small, make it better. The person might not understand. The person might not even know which one to use. Okay, the person might just, okay, let me use 10, which 10 is actually still small. And by the time I go back to review, I will drop another comment, make it better, which is not clear. And the person might get frustrated or confused. And, there's the vibes of the motivation might not be there. But if you drop a clear comment for the person and the person sees it, like give a suggestion, okay, try using this, try use this. If this doesn't work, then use this. You get, by the time you make it clear for the person will actually understand. Now, because there are some person that you tell, make it better, the person will just assume to use 10 or 12 and yes, it's good. But especially newbies like us, when you get to tell, okay, don't do it this way, do it this way, this is better. You get, so the person will just understand immediately and then adjust the design. Now another example I also add there is, okay, also feedback should include practical advice on how to identify issues. Now this is where I said there are some persons you will just drop a voice immediately, they will understand. There are some persons you have to sit there, like you have to drag them close to you, if possible carry them on your laps, then start pointing the screens for them. So that's how some persons actually understand feedback. There are some persons you will just drop one or two words and then they will understand. Now, for example, now I've given the first example based on the comments I dropped on somebody's file. I can't remember. But now another example is the navigation menu is too cluttered. Now, for example, yes, I remember. There's somebody that I also dropped comment on this person's file when on the person's tablet design, when the person did, like the person just carry the way the header is on the web, the person just move it on the tablet view. So I think the header, the main menu, please help me unmute, please. So I think the person just moved the web header to the tablet. So the home, about, service, something, portfolio was too, like, the logo and the words and the button was just jam packed there. And I think I dropped a comment and I told the person, why not move this whole write up into an hamburger menu? You can leave button and the logo. I think I dropped a comment like that, and I think the person did that. When the person saw the comment immediately, I think the person came to the Figma file immediately and adjusted that. I think I saw that. So you can tell that the way I dropped the feedback, the person actually understood the feedback. So your feedback should be like, it should be clear. Yes, there are some users that will tell you, there are some persons, let me just use people. There are some people that will drop some comments for you. You might get frustrated, you might not even understand, you might even get confused trying to get correction from that feedback. So one key aspect is a constructive criticism, where you have to make this feedback clear for this person. Example for beginners, because not all be like, sometimes I've made some mistakes for you guys, and don't know if some people, if you notice, if you're fast enough, you notice that I normally make that mistake for you, where I just assume that you people already know UI UX from somewhere. You came to this place to add one or two knowledge. So that's what I normally assume for you guys. On one day when I did, this was what I assumed when I gave you guys the first assignment. Everybody was just getting the scores 10 over 10, 10 over 10, 10 over 10. Second assignment, 10 over 10. It was when it was time for practical that I noticed that you people are just starting. You people, this is the first time you guys are just hearing UI UX, UI UX. Oh, this is UI. So when I noticed start getting those, that was where I had to say, oh no, I have to make this my feedback for these guys like a pre-nursery child, so that if they read, they can actually understand. That was it. I had to switch from making it better to explaining the correction for you guys. Now, the number two key aspect of feedback is positive reinforcement. Now, acknowledging what works well in design helps you, like it helps you in good practice and boost morals. For example, the color scheme is very effective and creates a welcoming feel. Now, this is what, now let's say, for example, you are designing a fintech application. Let's say something similar to OP, and you use pink. Now, it's a fintech application where we have to do transaction, funding of wallet, transferring and withdrawing, paying a utility bills, stuff like that. And now you're using pink or you're using brown. Brown is nice, but I'm talking of this kind of let's say the darker color of this. Is it brown? Let's say normal brown that we know, or you're using pink. This is where I have to say, okay, why are you using this pink? Can you tell me the reason why you are using this pink? Can you tell me the reason? Can you tell me the reason why you are using this pink? And then you said, okay, you feel pink is a nice color, and that's why you're using pink. And I will tell you, do you actually understand the meaning of colors when it comes to application? Do you know that fintech has its own color they can use? Do you know that e-commerce has its own color they can use? Every color you are using for your product actually have a meaning. I believe you all. I believe we as a designer, we actually know understand this. Every color you're using for your application, you're using blue for this particular application, it has a meaning. Does it fit for this application? That's why sometimes when I see people using this normal yellow color, or this red color for food application, and they're using it for a fintech, and I will say, are you serious? Like, why are you using this particular color that you can use for food and you're using it for a fintech? Now, every color has meaning, so that one is another topic we're going to treat for another day, but maybe at the end of the class I will add it as part of assignments for you guys. Okay, so now you explained to me the reason why I'm using this color, and I'll tell you, okay, do you know that this color actually has meaning? So instead of using this color, especially you're using this your blood red, something similar to this, you're using this blood red for a fintech, and I'll tell you, this color means power, it means danger, and then you're using it for a fintech application. Do you think it's actually match? Do you think it's actually a good color scheme to use? So this combine positive feedback with constructive criticism, ensuring that the designer feel encouraged and motivated to make improvement. So this is where you're telling the person, okay, I need to hear why you, or I need to know why you actually use this thing. And then by the time the person explains to you, then this is where you now have to go. This is where you have to bring back that constructive criticism. You tell the person, okay, yes, you did well, but you now start breaking it down. If it's color the person is using, if it's font the person is using, if it's the choice of spacing, if the choice of alignment, maybe the grid system or whatever, or the images or anything at all, or why is it drop shadow like this? This is where you now have to join constructive feedback and then explain why this person cannot use, or this explain why you can't use something like this, or you have to do something like this. This is where you now have to feel encouraged, you now feel motivated to make such improvement. Now the next one we have is objective evaluation. Now feedback should assess how well the design meets intended goals and objectives, including considering the target audience, usability, and functionality, while also evaluating the design based on established principles such as balance, construct, hierarchy, and alignment to provide a structured improvement. Now, what this actually means, it's not all about the design is fine, is beautiful, is where to do, is everything, but does it meet the goals and objectives of this project? Now you're building a project. Let's say you're building a food application for your users, and you are designing it so beautiful. The choice of image is so the fonts, the everything you're using is so beautiful, it's so neat, it's so clean. But does this design actually meet the goals and objective? That's another thing. Now remember, you yes, you use is beautiful, but does it meet the goals and objective? Did you actually use our UI design principles where you say, okay, the alignment, is it structured enough? The spacing, is it balanced enough? The contrast, the hierarchy. Sometimes they will I call it, I don't know what shade. I'm calling it lighter shade of red, but sometimes I call it pink. I think the color I use for my food app, I don't know whether I'll call it lighter shade of red, or I should call it pink. Now that particular color is actually so beautiful. It's a perfect color for food application. But if you now use the lighter, like the lighter shade of it, not even the light shade, or the lighter shade of it, you'll see that you are going out to, like, you're going close to baby pink. And now that color you're now using, and you're using baby pink, and you're now using white on top. You'll see that the contrast, should I switch PG? It is not balanced. Like, it's not going to be balanced. Where you have, I know, yes, we all know the normal baby pink, and then you have a white. It's just like you have the baby pink, and then you put your white singlet on top. You can tell that it's going to be very, very light. The text inside is not going to be visible enough. Imagine someone using, this white background, and then you're using the lighter shade of gray on it. Like when you use it, and then you now use font 8. Imagine when the user wants to read it, you're stressing the user's eye. So that all those objective evaluation, those things you are designing, does it actually meet the goals and objective of that product, including the UI and the UX design principles? Now, the next one we have is user-centered feedback. Now, feedback should consider the user's perspective and how they interact with the designs. Now, this is where, yes, the feedback that we all know, usability testing. Here you have to do your prototype, you push to your users for them to test. Now you've pushed this prototype, they've interacted with this design. Now they're dropping feedback. Now this includes usability testing and gathering users' feedback to identify pain points and area for improvement. We all know this one. That this is part of what we are going to do on our project, where we have to do the prototype. I'll say, okay, everybody, oh yeah, do prototype for your design. Put it in the link, let everybody test, and you see somebody will come under your link and say, okay, I have gone through your design, and now this is my own feedback. I think users, or let's say, I found it say, I found it difficult to actually navigate or find where my next button is, maybe on onboarding screen. I find it difficult now. Let's say, for example, Marvelous, add skip or next on her onboarding screen, and Fred tried to navigate through the project. Now you're trying to force your user to actually read the content on that screen. And remember, I said there are some users that don't like reading. There are some users, once they see image or illustration, automatically it gives them the idea of what is happening on that screen. And now Marvelous is trying to force her user to read the write-up on the screen. Now, and Fred is a user that doesn't like reading. Once he sees the image or illustration, he automatically know what is happening on that screen. And then Fred will tell you, I think now from my ending, I feel you should add a skip button or a next button instead of forcing me to read the write-up on the screen. And then Maureen will say, okay, Maureen will just come maybe with her own comment. She was trying to look for the, let's say on the home page, she was trying to look for the see all text link, and then she will drop her own comment as a user. She'll say, I actually wanted to see all the varieties of food on your application. I was looking for the see all text link. You get, so that is where users is just going to start dropping their feedback, trying identifying their pain points for you, and then you now have to go back to your design and then make these necessary adjustments. Also, ensuring that design is accessible to all users, including those with disability, and it's so crucial, and it's a crucial aspect of user-centered feedback. Now, this one is very, very important because now this is not where you are allowing your tutor to review your work as a designer, as a senior designer, or as an expert. You're not allowing your classmates or your colleagues to review your design. This is the product that your target users are going to use. So you're pushing this product to them. Let them test it first before you can actually launch this product for them to download as they're using. So you need to make everything clear because you are designing for user with ability and user with disability. Imagine a white background. You're using the lighter shade of gray. You're using like lighter shade of gray close to white, and you're using it on a white background, and you're using font size of 8 for body text. You are stressed, like you're stressing the user. Like imagine a user, like let's say, imagine someone who doesn't use glass to read, and the person is seeing that you're like the user is going to close his eyes. Like I don't know how I want to explain it, but the user is going to force like struggle to read that, and you don't want to do that. So you want to design something that is even clear, whether this person is viewing with phone, or this person is viewing with a larger screen, or this person is viewing with a tablet, whatever device that this person is viewing, you know that okay, this thing is actually responsive and is actually accessible or readable to every users. So that's how one of these aspects is user-centered feedback. This is where you have to come out being a designer, push this product to your user, get the feedback to them. They should interact with this product, and then they should be the one to drop this feedback. Now, this user should be the same user that you met or you meet when you're trying to have an interview with them. When those people, when you're having interview with them. So these are the same people, because they definitely, if you're building a food application, you have to meet, you need to know your target audience, and these are the target audience that you have interview with them, get to know, understand them, get to know them, and then these are the same people you push this product for them to actually test this product and see if they actually meet or identify their pain points and give you area for improvement. Now, the second one, we have this collaborative environment. This is what I just said, where you have to push this product or this your design you've done with your team, and then allow them to drop feedback, and then review your design. Where you say, okay, you have couples of developers, you have designers, you have graphic brand identity designer, graphic designer, product design lead, whatever designers in the team. You have your market, all your teams are a complete team. Where you have to send them the link, they should interact with this, or even if they don't want to interact, they should just look at the design and then give you area of feedback. So that is what cooperative environment is. Collaborative environment is encouraging open and respectful dialogue among team leads, foster a collaborative environment where feedback is welcome and valued. Now, this is one thing I love about feedback. If I don't get feedback on my design, I don't see myself improving. Now, for this couple of years, let me use myself for example. When I started 2021, getting to understand Figma, getting to start, designing a food product. My first project I did, like I told you guys, was the food application. That was my first complete project I did on my own. Like it's a personal project. And when I posted that project, September 17, 2021, I can never forget that date. I was so happy because I've been posting my work on Twitter. I've been posting my work on Facebook then. I've been posting my work on, I've never posted my work on LinkedIn because I was still afraid or scared, because I've been seeing the worst negative comments on people's design. So I was scared that I wasn't good and all. So I think when I posted my first food app, that was my first final project on Facebook. Facebook then was not my thing. I didn't get the kind of comments I wanted, because I think, I don't know, I see people, let me say my friends on Facebook were not this tech person. So I think I didn't get it. They were just liking it and just going. They thought it was just graphic something. But when I posted it on Twitter and the Behance link, I think I got a lot of feedback, both negative and positive. Definitely, people were telling me, "Oh, this your sentence here was not is not correct. This, but don't take it down. Just take note of next time." People were telling me the choice of font to use. I think I used pumpkins then. The choice of font to use. I think it was one comment that I saw that made me not to use pumpkins again since then. Where somebody was telling me the pumpkins you use, he doesn't like this pumpkin. It's not a good font. There are other fonts out there. I should go and make a research and see what other font people are using for their food. I was getting a lot of comment, the kind of comments I want, the kind of feedback I actually want from people. Some two YouTubers I've been following that time, they actually commented. They went from Twitter. Like I posted the link, so they viewed the link and I saw a lot of feedback. I think that was my first time of getting 1.5 views, like I think 1,500 and something views on my first project. I was so happy because the comments, the feedback, I will call it feedback that I got was so amazing. Like I had to see myself improve. When I did my second full project, I noticed that when I post, people were like, the same person that dropped those feedback were like, you did a great job. You did a great job. I can see the improvement. You can see that those feedback will help you as a designer. They will help you grow. Yes, there are some persons that will drop positive feedback, negative feedback. Some feedback you will see it will just you will ask that question yourself, am I actually a good designer? There are some feedback you see on people's work. You will go back to your design and say, oh, I'm not going to post this, but just try and post the work. Like give a room for feedback. It will help you grow. You see your self start improving. Now, if I send you all my full projects, both the one that are up and running from 2021 till maybe early this year, or yes, early this year. If I send them to you and you start checking them out, you see that the improvement has increased by 1,000. You see that the improvement has been increased. There are some feedback I have received. I have received a feedback that actually brought tears in my eyes, but that doesn't mean that I will close my laptop, I give up, and I'm going to delete my Figma. No, I took that feedback as something to help me grow, something I will, yes, pick the good ones, yes, pick the good, even the bad ones, pick the bad one, look at it, and then come back to your design and make those adjustments. You will see yourself. Sometimes when they drop feedback like that, I'll tell them, okay, what is your reason? Why do you drop this feedback like this? If you think this is actually not right. And sometimes they'll tell you, okay, one law of UX is not like this, or they'll tell you are missing one UI design principles. I think there are some persons' comments I have dropped when I look at the design, you are missing one UI design principle. If it's not UX, I'll tell them one UI design principle, and I'll just drop UI principle for them. Maybe consistency, maybe color schemes. I'll just drop the color, or maybe button. I'll just drop it, like I'll just highlight it and drop it for them. Now this is where they will now have to go back to UI designs principles and then speak about maybe if it's consistency, if it's maybe buttons, if choice of font. They'll just have to read and then come back to their comments and then make the necessary adjustment. So that is one thing about feedback. Feedback will help you improve a lot, like a lot. Now let's look at types of feedback. Now we've already said some types of feedback, where feedback can come from. Now, like I said, feedback can come from your peers, your fellow designer, maybe the same level that actually understand the project. Feedback comes from your colleague, your fellow designer who have a similar level of expert and understanding of the project. Now, let's say, for example, your assignment, your assignment when I would say, go and design. I love what Marvelous is actually doing. I'm going to give you a high five for that. Where Oluchi, most of them are dropping comment and say they don't understand this. Can you do this? She will just help break them down. Sometimes most of them are coming to my DM to ask. I'll just send them voice notes and all. Sometimes I'll tell them, no, go back and ask your classmates, because this is where I want you guys to have the same knowledge. Like, give yourself feedback. Like, you guys should be open. Like, let's Michael Samuel give Shegu feedback. Let Shegu give Marvelous feedback. Let Maureen give Roland feedback. Let Roland give others feedback. So that's how I want this kind of feedback to be. So that is another way. That is another type of feedback, peers feedback, where you have to get feedback from your colleague. When somebody will tell you, oh, Marvelous will say, this shape of button is actually not looking nice. Why not use this particular shape? I feel this particular shape is actually good and better for this particular project that you're designing. So that's how peers feedback is. The second one is feedback from your clients, input from your clients or stakeholders who provide feedback based on their vision, requirements, and business goals. Now, just like what I said, when a client will tell me, I'm a freelancer, when a client will meet me, oh, Helen, I want you to come up with an e-commerce platform where people are going to buy and sell, or maybe a project, not e-commerce, maybe fintech, whatever kind of project, edutech, health tech, agro-tech, whatever kind of project, and then you did something, then you get on a call. Definitely you will get on a call with the client, tell them to explain this project for you, because me, I'm a UI UX designer, I'm not a product designer. So where I guess my business is user experience. So though I have knowledge of business goals, because definitely if you're a UI UX designer, you have knowledge of business goals, but I don't call myself a product designer. So where you get to get on a call with the user, with the clients, they'll explain the project for you. You open your drawing book, you sketch out one or two, you do your flow chart, and then you move to Figma, and then you design the screen for them. Maybe when you're done with the first session, you call for a meeting and tell them, okay, let me walk you through the first session, and then this client will tell you, okay, does this design actually um based on their vision or maybe the requirements or maybe the business goals, and then they'll tell you no, and then you tell them, okay, what do you think? Then that is where you have to say, they will tell you, oh, they want it this way, they want it this way, they don't want it this way. This is where you have to get on the tell them to say, okay, can you provide, politely tell them, can you provide an inspiration of what you actually have in mind or what you want. That is when you're getting feedback from your clients. The next place you can get feedback from is from your users, based on interview, survey, and usability testing, where you are gathering your insight directly from your user, telling them to, okay, this is the product I've actually built. I've done the prototype, and I want you guys to navigate or have experience with the product, and then tell me what you think. And then they will have to navigate or have experience with that product or interact with that product, and then they get to say, okay, this actually fits in with our experience and actually the satisfaction of what we are looking for. Just like let's say you're building an application, an event application, and you know who are your target audience, people that are struggling to attend events but know where to buy tickets, and then you actually interview them, you've done a survey with them, quantitative and qualitative analysis, and then you're done with the design, you do the prototype. These are the same users you push for them to interact with that product and see if they actually are satisfied with the design. So you can see that that one is user feedback. Then the next feedback you can get is from experts, just like our senior designers, senior developers, product team lead, your people that you're calling Oga Pata Pata. I am not an Oga Pata Pata. I'm still a newbie like you guys. Where you get to meet people at the top, you get to tell them, okay, I actually did the design, and I want you guys to help me review the design and see if there are anything you can add or remove on this design. And then they get to say, okay, let's look at it. They evaluate and say, okay, I think this is actually not having a good user experience principles. Make it better. Do it like this. Don't use your button like this. You're getting feedback from experts into the industry. So let's look at the importance of design feedback. So from all these things I have said, you will start speaking out or knowing what is the importance of design feedback. Design feedback is crucial for the development and success of any design project. Trust me, it's very, very important. It's very, very important. If you want to have any success of any project, whether it's personal project, whether it's a client project, whether it's a group project, whether it's a team project, as long as there is design feedback in it, trust me, there's going to be 100% success of that product. Now, here are some several reasons highlighted is important. First one is enhanced design quality. Feedback helps you pinpoint issues that may be evidence to the designers, such as usability problem, visual inconsistency, or maybe technical error. Now, some of you might actually design something that's impossible to implement. Developers, you start having issues with developer. You come out on social media and start saying, or let's say you come out, or let's say, let's say you actually design one fine and you want it to start bouncing maybe in seconds, and let's say for example it's impossible to code, and then the developer just place it like that for you as image, or maybe design it to bounce like all of them to bounce in 1 second instead of each of them should bounce in different seconds. And then you come out and say what I designed is different from what is being implemented, blah blah blah, that you get. So all those things, so by the time you've done this kind of design and you push it out there, let's say you give it to a developer, is it impossible to code? And they tell you no. This is where you have to just go back to make those adjustments. But if you don't if you don't open room for design and feedback, and then you give them the design, or you hand over the design for them, and then you just and they see it, you didn't explain nothing, you didn't even have a communication with them, and then you all you had in mind was you want this thing to bounce, you want the 5 of them to bounce in 1 seconds, and the developer just make 5 of them to bounce in 1 second. This is where you now have issues. Not as saying I wanted it to bounce, I want all of them to bounce in 1 second, but you just made 5 of them to bounce in 1 second at once. Because if you don't open room for the design feedback, trust me, you're not going to have design quality. Now, the usability problem, let's say you didn't give your users for them to test this project, your target user, you've done the research, chapter ND, after your high fidelity, you hand over to the developers, and no usability testing. Trust me, there's going to be issues. Imagine when a developer see what you code, and you won't blame the developer. The developer might actually assume that you've done your usability testing. For you giving them this thing means you've done your usability testing, and they will just code what is on the Figma. And by the time you want to test the product before launching, you start there's going to be problem. Or even if you don't test the product and the product is just launched like that, you start seeing a lot of comment like, I'm on this particular product, I'm looking for the button to move to next. I am on this particular product, I am looking for the button to see all, because you're going to have usability problem. Now the visual inconsistency, let's say now based on most things I'm seeing from you guys, your errors in the UI, where you have to see, imagine somebody was using, yes, I think I caught that person red-handed. I think this person actually stole a design from Figma community. And what I saw on the person's style guide was urban list. And what this person stole from community was inter. And the person did not change the font. So some places we are carrying inter, some places were carrying urban. I'm talking about the font. The font sizes that the person provided on the style guide was actually different when I was going through the design. You can see that the inconsistency is just going to be there. And you will not blame the developer, because the developer will assume everything is good to go before implementing it. You get? So the person will just implement it because you did not open room for feedback. The developer will just implement it. And by the time you start seeing this product on the App Store or even Google Play Store, you start seeing the visual inconsistency. You see your button in this particular one is rectangle, the normal rectangle without any corner radius, and the next button is having a curvy corner radius. You can tell that the visual inconsistency is going to be much. So if you don't open room for feedback, there's no way you're going to have design quality. There's no way your design is going to be quality, you get. So constructive criticism can lead to functional improvement that enhance the user experience and also also ensure that the design work as intended. So that is one importance of design feedback, your enhanced design quality. So another feedback we have is fosters collaboration and teamwork. Regular feedback sessions encourage open communication and collaboration among team leads, leading to a more cohesive design process. It also helps ensure that everyone involved in the project has a shared understanding and vision of the final project. Now imagine now this one is as a teamwork where you are done with your design. Now, a team where there's developer, there's project manager, there's product manager, there's UI UX designer, senior and junior, there's developer, senior and junior, There's everybody in the team. There's data analysis. There's cyber security. There's everybody. As long as you're a techie, you're in the team. This is where you are done with the design. You have to, before the developer will even start implementing your work, this is where you have to push the. In fact, you are the one that's supposed to call them. Okay, I'm done with the design. Oh, you have a communication tool. I'm done with the design. Maybe you guys are using WhatsApp as your communication tool, Slack, Discord, whatever communication tool you're using. You have to tell them, okay, oh, I'm done. Oh, you come, let's get on a call to go through this project together. You see that by the time everybody is on this team, you start the design is good, it's good to go. Now, another one we have is encourage innovation and creativity. By the time this one, I don't even need to explain it for you. If you're open for design feedback, trust me, you will get a lot of creativity. By the time somebody is even giving you a constructive criticism or constructive feedback, you will see that you just start getting idea from what this person is saying. By the time the person tell you, oh, marvelous, this animation you did here is impossible to code, oh. But if you can do it this way, by the time we finish talking, explaining how possible you can just do something that is possible to code, you see that you say, oh, to Helen, don't worry, I have another idea. And you share the idea for you, see that the idea is even more simple for them to even implement. And by then you give room for creativity. Now, the next one we have is ensure user satisfaction. I don't even need to explain this one for you. By the time you give your user this product for them to interact with, you see that you've even satisfied them. By the time they'll tell you, okay, let's say you did the first push to them for them to test. They gave you feedback using your Google form. You go back to your design, you adjust, and then you push them. You start able to tell you good to go, good to go, good to go, okay, good to go. Because every user has their own different way of understanding and interaction. And then they'll tell you good to go, good to go. Usually that you've actually satisfied your target user. Because trust me, let me use myself as example. Ever since I heard about OP, so I learned about OP last year. I've been using CUDA. I know about CUDA for like 3 years or 2 years now, but OP is just a year and few months. That was when I know of CUDA as a microfinance bank or finance app. It's actually a good app. One thing I love about CUDA is their dark mode. I think I've not seen CUDA light mode. I love CUDA dark mode, and I've been using it during that cashless policy. When most bank was misbehaving, I think I didn't have money in my CUDA. I was having money in my GT. My GT app was not working. The card was not working. I was stranded, and I posted on my status out of annoyance. And somebody was like, "Are you not using OP?" And I was like, "What is OP?" And the person sent a voice note, a screenshot of the app, and I tried downloading the app. I just transfer, I link my local banker, my GT card, and I've been using OP. Like my CUDA has been empty. Like ever since it has been empty since last, it has been empty. Like at a point, I'm just trying to, log in my app, try to see if I can remember my password, not to forget my password. I think there was a time CUDA was like, I think verify your house address. I didn't even send them. Like I didn't send because OP is one app that actually satisfied me as a user. It's actually an application that I can use all over again. If you like, let their cards, let them block my account. I'll have to go and open it back. If you like, let them do this. OP is something that I love OP because don't forget about the user experience. The UI is so good, it's so clean. One thing I love about OP is the font, the spacing, the alignment. Is it the button? Is it their input field? It's so clean, it's so neat. Because that one now, let's say when OP was actually doing their product, I think they gave room for usability testing, and that was why they have a lot of users. I think I don't know, but I'm not sure. But I feel the people using OP, the numbers of users using OP are actually larger than the people using CUDA. Okay, because that's one importance about user feedback. That is one important about design feedback, user satisfaction. Now, the next one we have is build confidence and morals. Now, you're confident. Imagine somebody is giving you feedback. Somebody is giving you feedback. Somebody is telling you you did well, but why not make it like this? You can see that when the person say you did well, why not? You will see that I have confidence. Okay, now let me use myself an example. Now, like I said earlier before, I started design in 2021 and this is 2024, almost ending of the year. So if I count it, it's 4 years I've been into UI UX, but my working experience is less than 4 years. Now, this is 4 years I have been I have been designing. And when I showed you guys my first design and show you guys my first food app, and we had to redesign it in class. So looking at the high fidelity and looking at the mid fidelity of that design, you can see that the difference is clear. It's because I have give room for feedback. I have give room for feedback that has been boosting my confidence. Imagine me that I was scared of posting my work. Imagine you started designing a project since February till July abi June, you're done, but you are scared to post the work until September. And when you post the work, you got a lot of feedback and you have view of 1,500 and something persons that view your design and drop feedback. And the next project I post, I was getting a good you could tell that the feedback I was getting, you did so well. You actually take note of those corrections. You could see that I would raise my shoulder very well. If you go to my LinkedIn, I'll start posting my job. I'll start posting my designs and all. You can see that I've actually boosted my strengths. I've actually boosted my confidence as a designer. Now, balanced feedback that include constructive criticism helps designer feel supported and understood, making them more receptive to making improvements. If you have a constructive feedback, as I said, like I said, at first stage, the mistake I was making for you guys, I was already assuming that you guys actually understood UI UX. But when it came to the practical, and I found out that some persons were this is actually new to them, I had to start breaking down my comments. Sometimes my comment is like notes. Sometimes you come to Figma, you will see notes. Sometimes you come to Google Classroom, you see notes, because I'm trying to give you constructive feedback that will actually make you feel supported and understand the correction, the feedback, and to help you improve on your designs. So that is one importance of giving room for feedback. It will boost your confidence as a designer. Trust me. So another one we have is promote continuous learning and development. Boosting by the time you give room for feedback, you just see yourself start learning. Yeah, they'll give you feedback. You just read the feedback and then it will help you develop yourself. Regular feedback help you as a designer to learn and grow, improving your skills and expanding your design knowledge. Receiving input from different sources that can introduce new perspective and idea that you as a designer may not even consider. So if you now let me talk about this thing that I said. Now imagine somebody that did such animation. You want 5 images to bounce in 1 seconds, and developer is telling you it's impossible to code, and you're having an argument and you're saying it's because you're lazy, it's because you don't want to improve, it's because, and then you now give room for feedback to experts or maybe your tutor. And I said, instead of doing something like this, why not make all of them to actually animate like this? This is better. And by the time you use, so this is actually better than even this thing that I'm trying to do. You see yourself, you start learning, you start growing, you start improving, you start expanding your knowledge, your design ideas. So you can see that importance of feedback, it just help you learn and grow. So another one we have is ensure alignment with objectives and goals. You don't just want to design something that you are seeing. You want to actually be in line with the goals and objectives of that product. Feedback ensures that the design aligns with the project goals, requirements, and objective, keeping the design on track. So you as a designer can create more user-centric design that meet the user needs and expectation of the target audience. If you're building a betting applications, if you're building a betting application, you can see that you have a different target audience. You're building a food application, your target audience are different. You're building an event management or event tickets or whatever name you want to call it, you can see that your target audience are different. So if you are open, if you give room for feedback at the end of your design, trust me, your design is actually going to be in line with the project goals, requirements, and objective of that project. Okay. Now, what are the benefits of design feedback? I don't even need to explain more for you, because looking at all these things, you will tell. Improves quality. Regular feedbacks helps identify flaws and area for enhancement, leading to a higher quality final project. Second one is encourage learning. Designers, you as a designer, you can learn from feedback and improve your skills and knowledge over time. I'm a living testimony. Now, third one we have is ensure alignment. Feedback ensure that the design align with project goals, needs, and business objective. The next one we have is poster innovation. Collaborative feedback session can spark new ideas and innovative solutions. Now, in summary, design feedback is a crucial component of the design process, essential for refining and improving design quality. It involves assessing how well a designer meets its intended goals and objectives, considering factors such as target audience, usability, and functionality. Constructive feedback provides specific, actionable suggestions and highlights strengths, fostering continuous learning and development. This process ensures that designs evolves to meet better user needs and aligns with project goals. The importance of design feedback lies in its ability to provide a structured criticism based on established design principles such as the balance, contrast, hierarchy, and alignment. This structured approach not only aids in achieving high quality outstanding, but also build your confidence as a designer. By creating a culture that is valid and effectively incorporates feedback, teams can foster innovations, enhance user satisfaction, and provide and ensures a positive and productive design environment. So with all this, I believe we actually understand the key aspects of feedback, the definition of feedbacks, the benefits of feedbacks, and the importance of feedback. So if you have any question, please go ahead and ask me. Thank you.